Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host Jennifer, and today, well, we already showed you how to make the egg. That's the snake's egg. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a snake. Not only is he a snake, but he's a rattling snake. I put jingle bells in his tail because I wanted him to be a rattler. He's so cute. He's easy. He's all in one piece. If you've never made an amigurumi, this is the place to start. I show you how to do increases to shape his head, and all it is you're putting increases in his cheeks. It's so easy. It's working in the round, and there's no, like, that's where the color automatically goes, but there's no, like, jagged or line marks because we just continuously crocheted in a circle. And we just did that until the snake got to the length that we wanted. I used 3 of the Minikin Chenille yarn. Let me grab one. I used 3 of the Minikin Chenilles, with the exception of some scrap white that was left over because there's a lot of white on the outside here, which is why he has an extra long white stripe here, because that's this outer stripe. When we came to the next section, which was right here, I cut the white in half so it wasn't such a big white section. So we have some left over from 2 of the balls has extra white left over. This snake is, let me see, he's just about 6 feet tall, or long, and I took 3 Minikins to make him 6 feet long. I used a 6 millimeter J hook for his entire body, with the exception of his tail. I switched to 5.5 millimeter, so you could use 6 or 5.5 for this crochet tutorial with this chenille yarn. And you don't have to use the Minikins. You can use scraps, you can use whatever you have left over, you can use any chenille yarn, Dollar Tree chenille yarn, it doesn't matter. But I really wanted to showcase the chenille from the Minikins because I really like the self-striping effect. And then you guys saw when I unboxed it, I made this little egg that I'm getting ready to finish. I'm going to make him some more eggs because snakes do lay eggs. So this tutorial, the 6-foot snake from start to finish, me crocheting his entire body, took, I want to say 4 or 5 hours total of crochet time. So if you have 4 or 5 hours and you have somebody that would really enjoy this, please make one and show me, because I would really love to see snakes light up all of Facebook, all of Instagram. Like, tag me, hashtag @CinnamonStitches, @CinnamonStitches, or email me pictures or put it in the Facebook group. I do have finger wounds in the tutorial, so I started off unbandaged, and this is an eczema flare-up that is starting around my finger, so please excuse that. I really hate coming on for a tutorial with bloody fingers, but I don't have control over that right now. It took 3 Minikins. I needed a pair of eyes, and I do show you the difference between eyes. You can use really big giant eyes to make him look less menacing, or you can use little tiny eyes to make him look more menacing if you want, or you can crochet eyes, or whatever eyes you want to use, you can. And then I put about a handful of jingle bells in his tail to make him a rattler, but that is completely up to you. You don't have to do that. You can just make him a regular snake. But yeah, let's do this. Grab your hooks, grab your yarn, and let's make us a snake. Alright, to get started on this tutorial, I'm going to mute my phone because I know that it's going to go off. I have a ball up, and I know this is going to be weird for a snake. Like, just hear me out. It's going to be so stinking cute. I'm using the Parfait Chunky in the color white for the head of the snake. And the reason I'm doing that is because the Minikins, the color shifts are so small. I want his head to be all one color, and I am using this on my yarn pendulum because center pulling can be a pain. I don't feel like messing with it. That's alright, I think. I got a tangle! Alright, I fixed it. The end was tucked inside. I did not want to cooperate. Alright, got that set up. I am using a 6mm crochet hook. If you want your stitches real tight, I would suggest using a 5.5mm crochet hook. I'm already having issues with my skin and my hands because it's that time of year. So you're going to see I do have some wounds happening. These are eczema wounds. Do not fear, I am okay. And I apologize if my fingers gross you out, but there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. Now, to get started, we need to get the end of our white and have your first Minikin on hand because the head of the snake is going to work up really fast. It's really easy. Okay, we're going to make a slip knot. So you just you put the short tail on the bottom, make it look like an awareness ribbon. Put your yarn from top to bottom, pull up your loop, pull that on the tight side. Now this is exactly the same as using let me adjust my light. This is exactly the same as using a magic ring, because a magic ring is basically a slip knot. That's all it is. They try to mystify it. It's a glorified slip knot. Alright, now we're just going to chain 1 in the slip knot. Yeah, that's a slip knot. Actually, chain 2. Then we're going to turn around, and in the slip knot we're going to put 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, oops, 4, 5, 6. You just created the front part of the mouth of the snake. And because this is not a magic circle, and I know the lighting is going to be off, we're not going to see the stitches. This is white yarn. You have to kind of have a basic understanding of amigurumi to follow this tutorial. It is what it is. Chain 1. So I slip stitch to join. That's going to be the mouth, the front part of his mouth. Now I'm going to grab a couple of stitch markers. That's not stitch markers. I have a ton that is empty. I have a ton of mint containers. Sometimes they have mints in my drawer. Sometimes they have stitch markers and needle stoppers. Sometimes they have crochet hook heads. I'm just going to do a bulb one because it's easier on me. I do currently have a mint in my mouth because, I mean, there's one there, you might as well. Now what we're going to do to create the head of the snake is this next row we're going to go on the round, and in doing so we're going to do 2 single crochets in every stitch. Okay, now if you have a hard time seeing your stitches, you're going to need to learn how to feel what your stitch feels like, and just 2 single crochets in each stitch around. At the end of this row you should have 12 single crochets, but if you don't, this is not rocket science. It's a stuffed animal. It's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things, okay? And I'm not even counting. I'm just doing 2 in each one. There, that's about right. Slip stitch to join, chain 1. That is what we have. A little disc. Now, this next row, we're just going to crochet in each stitch all the way around. There's 1 crochet in each one. Actually, we're going to do this for the next 2 rows. The next 2 rows, just single crochet all the way around. Now if you want the nose to be a little more pointy, because some snakes have a snout, like a thin snout. Some snakes have more of a wide mouth, depending on the breed of snake. You can change this up. You can, instead of, when you do the 6 single crochet, in the next row, instead of increasing, just do 2 rows of single crochet so that you have 6, 6, 6. Oh, that sounds bad. That's not what I meant. And it will work out. You can do 7 if you prefer, if you're scared of that number. And I think this is the beginning of the row. I totally lost where I was at. So, because I'm having a hard time keeping track of where I'm at, you can put a stitch marker at the beginning of the row. This will be my second row of just single crochets in the round. But yes, we are going to use that second stitch marker in just a moment. I'm just doing single crochets in every stitch. Now you should still have 12 stitches because we haven't increased since that first, the second row. Alright, we're at the first of the row now. What we're going to do here is, because there's a stitch markers, we're going to put 2 double crochet, or not double, nope, not double, single, directly across from that, pretty much where my tail is leading us. I'm going to put another stitch marker. Now, if you want, you can count your stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That should be the halfway point. And then there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright? So you just, when you fold it in half, you want those stitches to be on either side. Here and here. Here, we're going to put 2 single crochet, and then we're going to put single crochets all the way till we get to this stitch marker, and we're going to put 2 single crochets here. Now what that's going to do is stop it from being round, and it's going to kind of like bow out on the edges. The point of doing that is because snakes' heads are not round. Snake's head are kind of arrow shaped, if you will, and so increasing on either sides of this is going to give you his cheeks. Now, whenever I mention a snake in any of my videos, someone is guaranteed to tell me how much they hate snakes, to say snakes are evil, that, you know, some awful story about snakes, they hate snakes so much. This is a way to get over your fear of snakes, because this is just going to be a cute little white innocent little snake with rainbow fur. Not fur, well, kind of, he's got rainbow fur. Alright. Now if you want every row, you can move the stitch marker up, but because I know that stitch marker's there, I know, so there's 2 single crochets here like this. In the second one, I am putting 2 single crochets. And if you want, you can move the stitch marker up to this last one, the second one, and then single crochet around to the other side. And do the same thing over here. This is when we reach where that stitch marker is. These are the 2 single crochets, and I can see it and you probably can't, but that's okay. Just estimate, it's not going to make much of a difference. You just want the stitches kind of across from each other. Because what this is doing is, see how the snake's head is like narrow here and it's starting to puff out? I'm just going to do that one more time. So that was our second row of increases. We're going to go around and do it one more time. Single crochet. The 2 single crochets are here. The stitch marker is here. I can see when I lay it down, the yarn is kind of bumping up right here. So see how it's going whoop, whoop, like that? That's how you know where your increase is going to be. So you put your single crochet on one side, 2 single crochets on the other side, single crochet back around to the yellow, come back and there's another, like we're kind of peeking up right there. So on this side, single crochet, on this side, 2 single crochet. Alright. Now, if you want, and I'm gonna move my stitch markers up to that peak. Cue the wind chimes. If you're good at keeping track of your stitches and you can see your stitches, you don't have to do this part. I'm doing it for the benefit of the video. Alright. Ooh, that thing was spinning. So see how his head is like conical here? And then it's coming out, like it's expanding out. That's what we want. Alright, now, this next row, we're going to decrease those so that we're back to a circular shape instead of the arrowhead shape. Okay, so when you get to where those cheeks are at, or the stitch markers, you are going to single crochet 2 of them together, and by doing that, we're going to single crochet that. So we see the peak is kind of right here, so I put the stitch marker in the wrong spot. Did I? I did. Stitch marker's in the wrong spot. It goes up here. There we go. Alright. And again, it doesn't matter. If you're off a stitch, it's fine. So you take the 2 stitches of that peak area where the 2 single crochet, where the V stitch is, the single crochet V, and you single crochet these together. So you go in, you pull up a loop, go in the next one, pull up a loop, pull off all 3 loops. That is 2 single crochets together. Go around to the other side. And that's where our peak is right here. And I actually put that in the correct stitch. Go in the first of the 2 single crochets, pull up a loop, go into the second one, pull up a loop, single crochet those together. We're going to do this one more time. I'm going to go around, round and around and around we go. Now you can make these snakes as big or small as you want. You could do that by just changing the thickness or the thinness of the yarn and the size of your hook. That will very easily make bigger and smaller snakes. However, you can also just change how many rows you increase here before you put the cheeks in and decrease. And when you have a bigger head, you will have a bigger body. So we're at the stitch marker, so I'm single crocheting 2 together. That's just decreasing them behind the cheeks. When we're done, we should be back to about 12 stitches. We are back to the 2 singles together. Alright, now you can remove your stitch markers. Take them out. We're done. We don't need stitch markers for the rest of the body. No siree, we do not need these anymore. And I just made a mistake because I just tossed them in my drawer instead of actually putting them away, but that's okay. So see how his head looks? It's coming back down. If you feel like you want his body to be smaller than this, you can do another decrease, but I think that is perfectly fine. I'm going to do another row or 2, just single crocheting in the round. Real easy. And then we're going to do his eye placement. Now if you're cool, you have snake eyes. I don't know that I have snake eyes. Matter of fact, I don't know where my eyes are. I'm going to try to find my eyes. I know I have some somewhere. And depending on how big his eyes are, will depend on how scary or non-scary he will look. So if you use bigger eyes, That tends to give them more of the baby feel, like the doe-eyed look. And I think we're going to try for that with mine. But if you use real small eyes, it will give them a more beady-eyed, more sinister look. Totally up to you. But I think I want really big snake eyes. But I'm going to see what I actually have, because I have no idea what I have. My yarn is squeaking on my hook. I do apologize if that's irritating to some people. I know that that is a big sensory no-no to some of you, and I am apologizing. I'm trying to talk over it so it's not so obvious. Alright. I think that was 2. I'm not really keeping track. Where are the cheeks at? Alright. So, if you flatten it and you don't see cheeks, the cheeks are on the side. So you need to rotate, flatten it. You should see a slight cheek there. See how it goes boop? When you stuff it, you're going to stuff the heck out of that to help form his head, but you're going to push this way so that the head makes more of the snake shape. And like I said, you can increase the cheeks more if you want. You can decrease the neck more if you want. It is entirely up to you. Now, I'm going to pause and I'm going to try to find my eyeballs because I have no idea where they're at. So I'll be right back. Alright. Snake, for example. Alright, so see how his head, this is an actual mass-produced snake. I got him at the thrift store. So see how the head shape is kind of similar? And see how you can make him fatter or skinnier. Now this one has some, he has some added around his eyes. I'm not going that far, but we're going to put him up on the desk for inspiration. My eyeballs were in 2 different places. These small ones were in the drawer. The big giant ones were in a cart. So, I'm going to show you what I mean by the different eyes and how they look. So, oop, we have medium eyes. We have tiny eyes. But what I really want to use is big eyes, and I have several sizes of the big eyes, so I think these ones will suffice. These have little color things in them. So we're going to have these size. I actually have bigger than this too. These are kind of cute because these are like looking towards something. So you can make them look kind of derpy or dorky by facing them together, or you can face them outward or in different directions. They're super cute. I've never actually used these ones before. These were sent to me in Happy Mail. So we're going to see if we can figure that out. And then of course I have all of these, which are also different. These ones are more centered. That green is beautiful. We'll pull these out too. These are even bigger. They have plastic on them to keep them from being scratched. And those have that kind of back. Now, I'm not making this for a little kid, so I'm not worried about how safety these safety eyes are or not. I'm making this for myself. I don't have little kids in my house. My youngest is 10, and he doesn't put, well, he does put stuff in his mouth still. Matter of fact, he has lost several eyeballs to several amigurumi because he chews on them. But he's old enough to not swallow them. Or come to me if he's choking. So, of course, I say all of this in jest. Alright, so we're going to start with the little teeny beady eyes. Now, snake's eyes are off to the side. See, they're off to the side. They should be looking outward. Okay, so you want the, yeah, see, these are too little. Those look ridiculous. That's just silly. Those are too little. Those are a big no. I have had this and some of these eyeballs since the beginning of the channel. Since the very beginning. And then you can use the more medium eyes. I think these are probably the most, that almost looks like a crocodile. Like a albino alligator, if you will. So you put the eyes, just above where the cheek is, but off to the side so they're looking outward. That makes the best snake head. And because this is going to be puffed up, so it's not, those are still just too small. So anyway, this pink case I was showing you was sent to me from one of my very, very first subscribers ever on the channel. She disappeared years ago. I don't really know what happened to her, but yeah, she sent me those. These are like well-made eyeballs. They're real thick. I think these are the ones I'm going to use. So these ones, I believe with this cap, it encapsulates the back and will actually sink them into the amigurumi. So I'm a little scared. And I also have colored to go behind these. So I'm just trying them out. So I'm thinking if I turn his eyeball facing down and out, it will be maybe the best. Like that. Alright. We have those, or another option are the big giant green ones. Which I also kind of like. Okay, I think these are the winner. I think those are the winner. Yeah, we're going to stick with those. Alright. Well, these are really cool eyeballs. Bentley, you wanted to be in here, Broheen? Alright, now I'm just going to attach the eyeballs at this point. I think they attached this way. Paper is sticking to me. Just want to make sure before you connect them that everything is lined up and kind of even. But it's a snake, even if it's not, like, it's not a big deal. And these, I like these because these have the big wide back, so they're not going to slip through the stitch. Oh yeah, that snapped in there real good. It actually snapped twice, but you only heard the first one. Alright, we'll snap that one. And you can start stuffing the head at this point if you want. I'm not gonna. That one only snapped once. Don't yell at me, I'm going to use my teeth. Alright, I got it down further. Got the big giant snake eyes. That's almost creepy. It's going to be fine. It's going to work out. Alright, I'm going to do a couple more rows. And you might be asking me why I am crocheting on the inside of the circle. I have no idea. This is just, I tend to do this when I'm doing amigurumi. I work with the inside facing towards me, and I don't know why. There's not a reason for it. If you would rather crochet in the other direction so the outside is facing you, you can do that. That is fine, just fine. Now, we are going to switch to the self-striping yarn, the Minikins, in just a moment, because generally with snakes, their first stripe will occur just behind their head. In case you can't tell, I have always had a fascination with snakes. I used to play with snakes when I was a little girl. However, growing up in Michigan, we did not have poisonous snakes near us. We just had big giant garter snakes. And they didn't tend to bite. And they just, I mean, they didn't mind being handled either, to be quite honest. I think when I switch to the other one though, because this is getting fiddly, I think that I am going to crochet on the outside. Just for giggles. This is pretty much the whole body of the snake. You just crochet in the round till the snake is the length that you want it to be. And then when you feel like the snake is long enough, you decrease to taper the tail. It is the easiest amigurumi that there is. Doesn't take a whole lot of thinking, doesn't take a whole lot of counting unless you're really bad at missing or adding stitches. Then every couple of rows, just make sure you still have 12 in between your stop and your start. And we are crocheting in the round entirely. We are not slip stitching to join. We are just crocheting in the round on top of other stitches. Round and round we go. Till we get to Mulberry Street. Alright, now I'm going to slip stitch this down I'm going to attempt to find scissors, which I don't know exist. I just got done bragging about my scissors, and then, right, give us a little bit of a tail there. Slip stitch that off. Alright, now, you tuck that in. It'll be fine. It'll work out. We have the head. The head is done. We're going to attach this color of Minikins because it has the green in it. This one is the color Raindrops on Roses. Not to be confused with Whiskers on Kittens, but. And the first stripe is going to be this pink color. I really like these Minikins, and I was thinking because they sent me the white solid, because this yarn was all sent to me from Premier Yarns. I don't know what I was going to say. Oh, I like because it has the white stripes in between the colored stripes, so it's going to look like you're still using the white. Now I'm going to do another slip stitch. We're going to, because I want to work the outside, I'm actually going to be working in the reverse way. I am going to, 2 stitches away from where I just did that, I am going to single crochet to join. And we're just going to skip over where we slip stitched. And we are going to just single crochet in the round, using as many or as few cakes as we want from this. And we're going to make us a really nice size snake. And then when your snake is long enough, sufficient, you like where it's at, I will show you how to do the tail. Alright, I am back with a band-aid. My finger got all flared up and inflamed, so it looks better with a band-aid on it. We're at the part where we're going to do the tail, because I haven't made a snake in a very long time, so I'm just adding a couple of rows on the white. Now, I have done 3 of the Minikins. This is the 3rd Minikin that I have put on in 3 different colors. I don't remember the colors because my labels are, I mean, this one I'm working on now is Beachcomber, or no, Beach Bound. And so I don't remember the middle color that we did. But I also determined that when I showed you guys this yarn and I showed you guys how to make an egg, we're going to make some Easter eggs, and they're going to be snake eggs for the snake. Because he's a snake. So, I'm just adding some white. We're still just doing single crochets in the round for eternity. Going round and round. The hardest part of this is because he's real long now, I have to keep rotating his whole body. And that is the most difficult part. And also I did a little slight color control in the middle of his body, because at the end of the little Minikins, there's a lot of white. And my intention was to use the whole cake all the way through, but then in the center of the body, I have a giant white stripe that just looks off from the skinnier stripes. So when we got to this part, and it was time for the white stripe again, I did half, actually maybe even less than half, and then I cut it, and then I put some of that white here in between these 2 colors because I didn't like those next to each other. So that's all I did that was different from just straight crocheting out of the hank. And we're so far down the body, I don't know what is the first stitch of the row, the last stitch of the row. I don't know how many rows I've done because I've just been crocheting in the round for a couple hours now. Been a couple hours. My snake is real big. He's real big. He's a big one. He is 3 cakes big. And how many yards are these little cakes? 54 yards. So he's, when all is said and done, because I did take some of the white out, he's probably going to be 130 yards. Which isn't too bad. Isn't too bad. That ain't it. Where's my label for the parfait? It's not on the desk. Alright, so we're going to pretend This is the last stitch of the row. And to start with his tail, first of all, we've got a couple inches. We need to put some stuffing in here. And hopefully I grabbed enough from my big giant box because I don't want to lug that thing around. And it's in the living room because that's where I was crocheting. This has just been the way I've been stuffing it. I just kind of like stick it in there with a couple fingers and push it down till it is the stiffness that I want. I want it a little bit stiffer so that when it does break down with time, it's not too floppy and feels empty. So, and there's parts where it's thicker, parts where it's thinner. Just shove some in there. Shove it in. A little bit here, a little bit there. I push it down as far as it'll go. If it feels like there's like a lump, like the snake has an egg stuck in it, then I take the end of my crochet hook and I just jam it in there to push more in. That ain't going in. Smaller. Alright. Just kind of massage it. Stick your fingers in there and kind of push it out towards the outside. Yeah, that's a good thickness. Alright. And then I just take this part and I push those ends down so I'm not crocheting the fiber in. Alright, so now we're starting the decrease for the tail. I think I'm going to do it a little different than I said at the end of the video, so I'm going to have to do some editing. So I'm going to single crochet 2 together. And then I'm still going to do, rotate it a little bit. Single crochet in the next 2 stitches. 2 single crochets together. Rotate. This is the part that is hurting my hand because I'm having to hold him still and control the tension so these stitches are tight. Alright, then we'll 2 together. Rotate. 2 single crochets. Two together. Rotate. Alright, there's my first 2 together, I think. Alright, now we're going to do a row. So if we took 3 away, we should have about 9 stitches. So I'm going to single crochet 9 stitches. 2. If I can get in there. 3, rotate. 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sure you do these nice and tight. 8, 9, 'Alright, I'm going to put a little more stuff in there because this hole's going to get small. I'm not going to be able to fit my finger in there to put more stuff. So we want to stuff after every little bit. I know it's hard to see because I keep moving back, but I'm like pulling it open and sticking it a little bit in there. Okay. Alright, now we're going to do another decrease row. So we're going to do 2 together. Then just 1 crochet in the next row, or the next stitch. Rotate. He is on the floor, he's so long. 2 together. Single crochet in the next one. Yeah. Trying to see, make sure I'm in the right stitches. rotate. Two together. I'm having a real hard time holding on to the yarn for tension, so we're going to try the wrap thing. I've never been able to successfully do the wrap thing, so we're going to see if that actually works. Let's try to unravel. Alright. I done forgot. Am I doing two together? I think so. We're just going to wing it. And then a single crochet. And then the two single crochets together are right there, so we're going to do one more of the two together. Yeah, that unraveled. It didn't actually hold. Maybe I need to close my pinky. I'm struggling. I'm not good. I'm not good with the amigurumis. Now I'm just going to do single crochet all the way around. I'm going to do single crochet. Actually, we're going to do 2 rows of single crochet. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to do 10 single crochets. Your number might be different than mine, and that is okay. 1, 2, 3. I'm fighting it. Oh, I banged you. I'm sorry. 4, 5. To rotate him, I have to rotate his head because he's trying to like pull back on me like that, so I'm just fighting it and fighting it. I guess this is why we usually make the smaller ones. Alright, we need to do 5 more. That's 6, 7, 8, 9. I just got a brilliant idea. 10. Hang on, hang on, hang on. I got excited. Hold up. He's gonna be a rattler. Because while I was looking for my eyeballs, I found my jingle bells. Maniacal laugh. Alright, I'm gonna pull it out. Jingle bells are totally optional. And they don't want to fit real well. Yeah, he's a rattler. Wish I had louder jingle bells, but these will have to do. I'm just popping them in there. So we only have 5 stitches left here. I am sticking my finger in and jamming things down. I'm trying to push the jingle bells down into the fluff a little bit so there's not like just a hard part at the end. Yeah. Put a little more fluff in there just to keep them secured. Oh, I might not be able to stick my finger in there. I'm going to crochet hook that's smaller. I need something smaller. I'll try this. My finger don't want to fit in there. This is just a rubber handled crochet hook. Get it in there. That'll do. What size hook is this? 5.5. I wonder if this one will work better for these last couple stitches. Alright, now I'm just going to single crochet, and I move to a smaller hook. It's only 1/2 millimeter smaller. I'm going to just do 2 together. That should give us 3 stitches, because there's 1 extra because there was 5. I'm going to do a row of single crochets. Yeah, this is not as slippery. It looks like there's 4 stitches there, which means I could have done 2 together again. Rotate. Alright, I'm going to actually go around the post of 2 of these stitches and slip stitch. That looks like a pointy enough tail. What did I do with my, my scissors right here? And pull this. Give ourselves a little bit of a tail there. I'm going to pull that. And then, I know I had a needle. There it is. There's so much fluff and yarn on my desk. Alright. Just going to weave this in and out. You want to weave this a lot because this will want to pull back out. There we go. Just going to weave it, weave it. If you have any open stitches in here, you can always take this and just kind of like pull them. Especially when you get towards the area where you're doing decreases. You pull them in there and close those off a little bit. I'm just going to keep weaving it in. Weave it back. We don't want those jingle bells to fall out. Need us a little rattler. Alright, and then I'm just going to feed it into the body. Boop. Cut that part. Form his tail a little bit. Don't be afraid to squish it. I look like a rattler. Sounds like a rattler. Alright, we're done. You want to see the whole thing? You ready? It's going to go by real fast. There's this tail. I know the tail is not the prettiest. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Got the tail. Alright, here we go. Whee! You see how long it is? I just kept going and going and going and going. And there's his head. Isn't he cute? You can always come on with a little colored piece and just like give him a tongue if you wanted. But I don't think he needs a tongue. And then you can coil him up if you want. I don't know if he's going to actually fit on camera. Hang on. I'll raise you up so you can see my snake done. There we go. That is my snake done. He's cute. I kind of love him. And he's real soft and squishy. Now right here, I totally, like, I didn't... This is where the 2 colors connected. That's one thing I'm going to tell you is when the 2 colors connect, crochet really tight right there. Because that part of the yarn is real stiff and there's a hole there and it's driving me. I may actually come in and take some of the white and sew that closed. Just because right there, and I didn't do it. See right here where the color changed? I crocheted it real tight because I saw that that happened and it didn't happen again. But right there where his head is. See, what do you think? I hope you guys enjoyed this snake tutorial. I hope that you will make one. I hope that you find him to be cute and that you will enjoy him. I think little kids would really like playing with a big snake like this. especially if you put a rattler in him, because that's real super cute. I like this yarn way more than I thought I would. I'm not a huge fan. Now I have this much left over and a little bit more from one of my balls, and I'm going to totally make some eggs for him because I think those are cute. I didn't finish this one yet, but oh, we have stuffing. We can finish this egg. This is the egg that I created in the tutorial when I was doing the unboxing of this yarn. But while I was making the snake, I was like, snakes lay eggs. Snakes also eat eggs. So what I need to do is make him some eggs, and then he can have his own Easter basket, because he's gonna be like an Easter snake, or maybe he just laid eggs. She just laid eggs. So there. I just need to close that off. Make a couple more, and he has some little eggs. Isn't that cute? Oh my god, it's cute. Alright, so thank you so much for watching this tutorial. If you make a snake, I want to see it. And you don't have to use this Minikin yarn, but the Minikin yarns made it really cute. You could use scraps. You can use whatever scraps you have. You could use whatever chenille yarn you have. You can use chenille from the Dollar Tree. I really, really liked the Minikins though. And this is coming from somebody who's not a huge fan of chenille yarn at all. But I really like the way he came out. I like the way he feels. And I really like the color striping, because I love color striping yarn. So with that, I'm going to let you go, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.